Hi Stampers! Welcome back to my channel. So it's that time of year again. Stampin' Up! Has released a new catalog. This used to be a real love-hate time of year for me because I really had a hard time trying to pick out which new stamp sets I should purchase. A lot of times I was just mesmerized by their beauty and I bought them and never used them. And sometimes I let a really good stamp set get by me without buying it because I didn't realize how good it was until it was too late. So I'm going to try and pick a stamp set a week and maybe one of the new stamp sets and give it a little review, see if I can help you pick out which stamp sets maybe you should purchase from our new catalog. So some of the things that I'm going to be talking about are, does the stamp set have a lot of things that coordinate with it? Does it have more than one task? Like, is it just stuck as an Easter stamp forever, or can it be used as other things? Was it easy to use? Or let's see, does it receive lots of support? Some stamps, get lots of support online from Pinterest and that type thing. And then lastly, I will let you know whether or not it is Purple Lizard approved or not approved. And I will be honest about it. So, for the first stamp set, I'm going to do the Above the Clouds, not necessarily going in alphabetical order. It just happened to be a stamp set that I hadn't played with. I've had it since just after On Stage, but I didn't play with it until last week. So this stamp set it's photopolymer, it has outline stamps, and it has distinctive stamps. The distinctive stamps are the fill-in stamps for the outline stamps. There's a big balloon and a basket, and there's 3 little balloons with a filler, a little banner with a filler. The clouds don't have an outline stamp. They're strictly just a distinctive stamp. And then there's a little flag with a filler stamp, some birds, a heart, and a couple of sentiments. It's a 19-piece set, but I cut it up somewhat. The 3 balloon stamps were one stamp. They were connected, and I cut them apart on the fill-in stamp, the distinctive one, and on the outline stamp. I cut them apart. I wanted to be able to stamp them wherever I wanted. Same with the balloons or the clouds. They were one stamp, and I cut them apart into 3. So my 19-piece set is like, what, a 25-piece set now? Something like that. Anyway, they still work fine. They're your stamps. You can do what you want with them when you buy them. So this stamp set does have a coordinating punch with it. Let's see if I can get it to where you can see it. I've scratched mine up, of course. I tote these things everywhere. So it has a little basket punch. Here, I can turn it here too. It has a little basket punch. Punches out this basket. And then it punches out the hot air balloon, the big one. It also has this little flag, little banner punch. This is it right here. We have a stamp set called Make a Difference that does letters and numbers. If you didn't want to write inside of it, this stamp set would easily stamp inside of there if you wanted. I like the punch. I love the idea of stamping and punching. Stamping is like the lightning and punching is like the thunder. It's fun. Um, Stampin' Up puts out quality punches, so I'm sure I will have this punch for many, many years to come. My only one complaint about this punch is that I wish this would have been a little cloud instead of a banner. That would have been really cute just to have a little cloud. So the punch only gets a 9.5 from me because it should have been a cloud. All right. So that's the only thing that coordinates with the stamp set is the punch. The stamp set, I would say, has a few tasks that it could do. It could be, it's in the catalog, it is in the love, thanks, and support section. So it could be a lot of those, a love, thanks, or a support card. It could be for a friend, could be a birthday card, or a moving card. You're off to great places. It could be a graduation card. Let your dreams soar. Could be a support card. We rise by lifting others. It could be a birthday card or a wedding card. Life is a beautiful ride. So it could be a male or a female card. There's something about hot air balloons that are sort of majestically serene, so you could make it really pretty or you could just make it fun and cheery. So I do feel like it's a versatile set. Sometimes whenever you're working with a stamp set, when you just first start working with it, it can be like trying to teach a chicken how to play a piano. I mean, yes, it is a thing. Look it up on YouTube. But where would you start with that? I mean, do you teach them the chorus first, or do you teach them chords? I mean, where do you start with that? And sometimes I feel like when I'm working with a stamp set for the first time, it's hard to get started with. This stamp set, I did not feel that way. It was really easy just to start with these little stamps and working on a background, and they made it easy to build up with the big hot air balloon. I did have a good time working with it. This stamp set has not received an overwhelming amount of support on Pinterest or Split Coast. There was about 2 pages on Split Coast. It is still new. One thing that people have done is I've seen them make these things into everything from avocados to Hershey Kisses, light bulb. Actually, on the front of our catalog, this magnolia here, the little part of this flower is in the die set of the magnolia set in this. But this big leaf is actually this punch. So I've seen it used as a flower. So I've seen a few things like that. But other than that, it's received minimal amounts of support, a minimal amount of support on Pinterest and Split Coast Stampers, and really didn't see anything on Instagram yet. But I did like it. Let me see. Oh, let me show you some of the cards that I have. This card I received in a swap that I was in. We were casing cards from the catalog, so it is a case from the current catalog. Don't have the name of who did it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know who did it. She stamped the outline stamp on cardstock and then trimmed away and stuck it on top of another color. Of course, she fussy cut those clouds because there's no punch for it. See, she stamped the clouds and the outline stamp. And then this Hello Friend that she used around the stitch circle die is the Hello Friend. And of course with the photopolymer stamps you can bend a stamp to stamp in a curve. So I thought that was really a cute card. So one of the first cards that I made was this one. I wanted to stamp those little balloons in a rainbow order, and I didn't want them to overlap, so that was why I cut them apart. And then I just stamped inside each color with a lighter color. I fussy cut these little balloon clouds, and the balloon was done with the purple posy. I wanted it to start with the purple posy, end with the purple posy, so I could do the bigger balloon in that color and then the outside mat. So that was one of the first cards I did with it. This one is sort of the same, only I used the big balloon for this one. I punched out some masks after I stamped the Daffodil Delight and the Crushed Curry so that I could mask them as I stamped on, and I just went up the card. And then all these balloons that I was stamping, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. You can either stamp on the paper and then take, like, here's one. So you can stamp it on the paper and you can then line it up and punch it, or you can punch out your paper and then stamp on it, which is how I was doing it. I would stamp it out, and then I have my Stamparatus set up where I just had a template, and whichever stamp I would be using, grab a stamp, I would just put the stamp inside my little template, pick up the stamp, and then whatever I was stamping on, I would punch it out, put it in my template, and then stamp with it like so. And so that was how I did all my balloons. And I stamped on top of that balloon. I drew the lines from the baskets. Not a fan. Not a fan of that. This one I used the Follow Your Art Designer Series paper. I couldn't believe how beautiful it looked for balloons. I bought that paper for something else that I was doing, another swap, and after I was done, I thought, what am I going to do with all that paper? Because it's pretty, it's nice, but I really had no idea what I was going to do with this paper with hot glue guns, paper clips and things. Maybe if I was a secretary or office. This one is like cross-stitching. I don't sew. The pins were kind of cute. I don't really like all the white space. But the other side of this paper, all of it, made perfect hot air balloons. So while this stamp set doesn't have a set of designer series paper that goes with it, I have to say that the Follow Your Art DSP worked really well with it, I thought. I did more than one card with this DSP. So again, I started with the little stamps and I just stamped up the background with the clouds. And when I first put it on top of the blue, it was really washed out. So I also stamped on some white and just stuck it underneath and worked my way up with the different balloons. Some of them are on dimensionals. So there you go. This was white baker's twine. I did not have the terracotta tile was what I wanted. And so I just took the white and drug it through the terracotta tile color. This is another one where I used the designer series paper. I used the rectangle stitch dies and made a little frame, is what that is. And I didn't stamp, I just punched the balloon with this one. Again, they made the cutest balloons. For the little banner, like, I made a card with the banner. This again is the Follow Your Art DSP. I put happy. On the stamp set, it also has enough of a space where you could write happy. So you could stamp the balloons, and between them you could write happy, and you could do birthday with any stamp. Or this is the dies that coordinate with the well said. And then I just wrote that in, but again, we have a stamp set that you could stamp it in if you don't like writing on cards. And this one, again, I just stamped it in my little template and then pop dotted it up here. So I have to say that I did enjoy this stamp set. It was easy to work with. It doesn't have a whole lot of stuff that coordinates with it, but I see you could easily make things coordinate with it. You could cut out Flowerdy paper. Anything could be a hot air balloon. So I thought it was pretty versatile. You could bring in a lot of other sentiments besides the ones that are here. It has not been done to death on Pinterest if you like that. And so I'm going to say that for Purple Lizard, we give it a thumbs up. I definitely like this set and the punch. I hope they're around for a long time. So if I can help you out with any of these products, I will put a link to my store at the bottom. And if you have any questions, you can email me at purplelizard.com. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.